Welcome to another episode of Ask Cindy Connector Live. Hello. Happy Pay It Forward Friday. Happy Aloha Friday. I'll get to my guests in just 1 minute. Make sure that you go to Ask Cindy Connector Live on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And if you share this very broadcast after subscribing and commenting on YouTube, you will get a 5-night hotel stay. I cover the hotel, you cover the tax. Just tell me where you want to go and we'll hook that up just for sharing this very broadcast and being a subscriber of Ask Cindy Connector Live. So a little bit about the show. This is a way for me to connect you to my sphere of influence. I'm a travel agent, podcast host, and client retention specialist, but I created Ask Cindy Connector Live so I could share to the masses what my friends in business are doing. And of course, go to nationaldaycalendar.com if you would like your very own National Day calendar. Simply type in calendar here in the chat. And if you like to comment today, go to streamyard.com/Facebook so your name will populate and we could thank you for your comment. So today is National Shrimp Scampi Day. Make sure you go to nationaldaycalendar.com. So today I have my friend Maxie Williams, New Jersey in the house. How are you?
I'm well, Cindy. How are you?
Great. And I'd like to do a big thank you to Kelly for referring us. It's such a treat to get to know you here over the next 24 hours, right? Less than 24 hours.
Yes.
So tell my audience all about your story.
I was a single mother of 4 children. All my children are grown now. My oldest is 26. My daughter, my only girl, is 22. She'll be 23 in July on the 19th. And I have a 21-year-old son who is in the military, and I have a 19-year-old son who is in college at Liberty University.
Oh, wow.
First year down, 3 more to go. So I'm super proud of my children. And now I am raising 2 of my grandchildren. I have 4 grandbabies. 2 of them I have here, 7 and 4. Then I married this wonderful man last April 24th. And yes, just celebrated my first 1-year anniversary with him. And I am super excited about where our relationship is going and how we're building and just networking and doing things to get businesses off the ground to leave a legacy for my children and grandchildren, and also his 4 little ones who I have the pleasure of being around constantly. And I have 2 of them that I am helping with that live with us, ages 4 and 2. So it's an adventure in my house.
Nice.
24/7. 24/7 is an adventure in my house. Didn't expect to start over, but I'm grateful for the chance to put something into someone else's children to show them how to be a better them. I started in the tax business. I've always wanted to be in the tax business for years, because when I was in school as a little girl, I was always great with numbers. I won numerous math awards. Whenever I was in school in Washington, D.C., I was getting a medal every week for a contest during the lunch period. They would have our award ceremony, and I would get math awards every week. I once won tickets to the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus in Washington, D.C. back in, I think, 87 or 88.
Yeah.
Yes. I won the tickets there, and my babysitter took me to the circus. So with getting those awards with numbers really made me want to do more with it. As I got older, I stayed with the number side. I'm okay with English and everything else, but math was my thing. So I think I was in high school, probably about the 10th grade, when I discovered that I have a photogenic memory to numbers. So I have to be careful, because I can look at something once and I can memorize the numbers. Really? I call it a blessing and a curse, because you'll mess around and retain the wrong information. it's easy. People that have that gift, it's easy to get caught up if you're not careful and you're not legit and making sure that you're doing everything that you're supposed to do to keep a good client base. It's easy to get caught up because you can mix somebody's numbers up.
Mhm.
So I had to learn to slow my mind down and take my time with my numbers. So then I started venturing out. I went to college. My children were small when I first started going to college, and things kept happening, and I was dropping out, and I ended up racking up a lot of money in student loans.
Oh yeah.
But I know that that's something I'm willing to take. But I'm still determined to finish my degree. I got 1.5 years in. I think I'm gonna push it to two, do another year, and I should be finished with my associate's degree in accounting. But right now, it's not feasible because of having to raise the children. My grandchildren are here, with them being so small and not being able to get enough help for them. Everything's out of me and my husband's pocket, and now I'm a stay-at-home mom all over again. My husband is at work, so doing school right now is not feasible for me. But when I'm ready, I hope I'm able to go ahead and just pay everything up front so I don't have to worry about it. Um, and when I was doing college, I realized that the accounting degree was going to give me the broadband of everything I wanted to do. I can do bookkeeping, I can do taxes, I can do accounting. Uh, it's a lot of different fields, and they all branch off into different things that I can do. And the basic one is you can get a certificate for each one. Then you can go up to the second level certificate, and then you can go to the degree. So I'm just eager to go ahead and get that under my belt. But while I was in college, the first time I went in 2005, my professor was talking to us in our tax class. It was income tax, individual income taxes for the 1040. He was talking to us and he was explaining some stuff to us and he was showing us the loopholes. He showed us how to and if you work a regular job, he showed us how to take the W-4 and the state 4. If it, like here in New Jersey, it would be NJ4. In North Carolina, it's the NC4. So in California, it should be the CA4. You could take those tax forms, and one line could keep you from having to pay taxes back to make
Wow.
sure that they take the right amount of taxes out. So
Mhm.
I grabbed that early on, and now I'm seeing, because he said that with the change and the way the world's going to change, it's going to get tougher, it's going to get worse. So I learned all this stuff, and I said that I was going to take with my tax business, which is called Maxie Williams Tax Services. You can find me on Facebook. Um, I said that I want to actually help people, show them how to keep from having to pay thousands out of pocket. So I went online and I found this article that Cindy's sharing now, for tax write-offs if you are a travel agent. But it's not just broad, it's more broad spectrum than just the travel agent. These are also tips that you can use for any business that you are self-employed or you travel for it. You can use these tips in this article to actually increase and maximize your return to make sure you're getting all the write-offs that you need. Some of the ones that love to I love to talk to people about is making sure that you keep your receipts. And a secret to that, nobody realizes receipts are meant to fade out over time. So my advice is when you get a receipt, if you don't use a card to pay for it and you just using cash, take that receipt, get you a roll of packing tape, keep clear packing tape in your house. Take a piece of packing tape and put over the front of that receipt. I think back in 2018, the Internal Revenue Service changed it to where they actually can audit. If they audit you, they can go back up to 10 years and ask for
Wow.
tax returns and information. It used to be 3 years, then they changed it and they didn't even broadcast it. I got the information from someone that worked with the Internal Revenue Service
Oh wow.
in school. So take those receipts, put it on, put packing tape on them. Even if you save your stuff to your computer, computers fail, hard drives fail, floppy disks fail. So make sure you take that stuff and keep something hard copy, and then tape it to a notebook and keep it. Put it in a safe place, fireproof safe. bloodproof safe, whatever you have to do to keep it for up to 10 years so that if you ever audit it, you can always go back to those receipts, because it's going to be really hard for you to prove your case if you don't have documentation to prove the deductions that you're going to claim on your tax return as a business owner. So um, I'm looking at the screen now. Make sure that you look at all of the overlooked expenses. You could and it's easy to overlook them. Car insurance, there's a tax credit for retirement savings. If you pay into your IRA or 401k, and it's outside of, if you're self-employed, if you're just paying straight into it, or if you have a W-2 job where you just have your retirement monies taken out of your paycheck every pay period, you can take these and actually claim them on your taxes to get a deduction. And it's a credit, and it's called a refundable credit, meaning it's going to put money back into your return to increase how much you get back at the end of the year. You can claim medical expenses. You can claim health insurance premiums. You can claim the marketing and advertising. If you're ordering business cards, you have to pay for promotions on Instagram. All that stuff is tax deductible. So make sure you
Can we
take
touch
and you
on
get.
that a little bit? Because I do
Absolutely.
YouTube, I do TikTok, I do Facebook, Instagram. I have a
Uh-huh.
blog. Yeah, so let's kind of talk about all the different marketing platforms. How does it work for
Yes.
you to write it off? Are you based on like an hourly rate that you spent time on that particular platform?
It's going to go off of what you pay for the entire year, is how the IRS collaborates everything. So
Okay.
regardless of whether you're doing it per hour, per month, per week, just keep a running record. Even if it's just you using your debit card, your bank statements, is printing them out, highlighting those areas where, and labeling them. This is what I pay for advertising for Instagram. This is what I pay for advertising for YouTube, so that you know what you have by the time the end of the year comes around, and it's time to give your stuff to your tax professional to make sure that your taxes are done correctly. Everything's already right there before them. That is a tax preparer's dream come true. If we have a customer that comes to us that actually has everything already laid out for us and already got everything labeled, and we don't have to do the fishing game where we got to go
Mhm.
through and thumb through all the papers and look for dates and all this stuff.
Oh my
If
God.
everything is right there, it makes it so much easier, and it can guarantee that you're gonna get your tax return completed faster. Um, so just keep a running total, and I was going to touch on that in the end, because all this stuff you can take at the end of the year. Most times you can get the bank statements. If you can pull your bank statements for the entire year, you can take, and like if you have sometimes, I know my daughter, she does Instagram marketing. She takes and she prints out the payment schedule from where she had paid all her stuff, and she gives that to me for her taxes. So you can claim all these things, everything. I mean, it's some stuff that you wouldn't even think that you could claim on your taxes as a business professional. I'm not just going to say travel, but for a business professional, if you do travel, there's a place on the Schedule C, and that's part of the business side of the tax return. That's for specifically for travel, but it breaks it down and it gives you the advertising and marketing. It gives you what you got to pay for insurances and fees. If you have to pay for uh, you're paying somebody to work for you, somebody to come in and answer your phones to make sure that you're not missing any calls, or you have a personal assistant. It gives you a breakdown of how to put all this stuff in there that you are paying out of pocket every year, all year long, to make sure that you're getting back the all your money, that you're getting credit for everything that you paid out for the year. Um, the health insurance premiums, you can do those, but the medical side of that, where you can do medicines, you do pharmacy. If you have eyeglasses, if you have dentures, if you have to have use a
Oh,
wheelchair, you have to use crutches. Medical aids and supplies is what it's called on the tax form on the Schedule C. But all these things are tax deductible. That's how people are able to itemize their deductions. because they're able to take all this stuff and get a record of it from wherever they're getting it. Family medical supply, they're getting it from the doctor's office, the doctor's, because some people's doctor's office actually orders it and then tell you to come back in and pick it up. You can actually go and ask your receptionist, hey, can I get a printout of everything that I paid for the year? Everything that I had to get, that I had to pay out of pocket outside of my insurance. You can get all that stuff, give it to your tax professional, and watch the magic that they make happen for making sure that they have all your information and everything that you pay out. Um, you can claim meals. You can claim if you're traveling and you have to have entertain guests or entertain a client, that's a tax write-off. So enjoy your meal. But you can do that. If you're having to travel for work and it's not deductible, your job is not reimbursing you for it, or if you're a business person and you have your own business, you can write these things off on your taxes because you have to use it to get your clientele base up or to serve a client. Anything that you can do, you have to do to serve a client, serve your customers, or for your job is tax deductible. You just got to make sure that you're getting the right information and giving it to your professional. Each one is also a case by case basis. You have to make sure that you talk to your tax professional one on one to give them a full breakdown of what you do for a living and what all you have, all the documentations that you have, because they can actually sit down with you and tell you, this is what you can use. This is what you can use. We can't use this because they changed the rules this year, but you can use it this way. So I say it's a case by case basis because every year the Internal Revenue Service changes something. So we have to make sure that we follow the guidelines of the Internal Revenue Service so that we don't have to pay them additional monies. Because if you have to pay taxes back, reason that people get the big they have to pay back the big tax amounts is because you end up having to pay 3 different types of interest, and that's interest, daily interest, and then daily compound interest. And that's what takes a $3,000 tax return that you owe to the Internal Revenue Service, and it multiplies it to $30,000 by the end of the year.
Well, we have 2 minutes left. Let's talk about doing events, and also, so StreamYard.com, this is how we're streaming. So that's tax deductible as well. That's $25 a month. So I could deduct that as well.
Yes. Anything that when you go to do an event and you're a vendor, you have a vendor table, whatever you're having to pay for, whatever you're having to do, there's a place on the Schedule C for everything. Wow. I promise it is. There's a place on the Schedule C for everything, but it just takes that you find a tax preparer that will be honest with you and break things down to you to make sure that you understand what you're looking at. I've been doing taxes since 2005, and I've gained some of the best clients because I'm honest and I'm open with them and I tell them the truth. If it's going to be a problem, I don't sugarcoat it and I don't try to hide it. I let them know straight out from the beginning, this is what the problem is. Just for an example, I have seen a lot of people that do taxes, that get their taxes done. Their biggest issue is, how come I didn't get enough back? I didn't get that much back. Yeah. And the biggest issue is, either if you're self-employed, you're being taxed on everything because you didn't pay taxes. You can do taxes quarterly to the Internal Revenue Service and the state, which will help make sure that you don't have to pay at the end of the year. Your deductions will take it and turn it into an actual refund where it's gonna add to your refund and increase how much you're gonna get back. If you have a regular W-2 job, you have to make sure that they're taking out the right amount of tax. And the way you can do that is because they get a tax credit for not taking out the right amount of tax. On your tax forms at work, the W-4 and the whatever state form you have, state you're in, the 4 form is aligned with the $sign. That is the key to making sure that you do get what you're supposed to get back. Okay, so you just have to talk to your tax professional and ask them, look, or you can reach out to me and I can give you the information. I am going to be running some promotions for the upcoming tax year, doing some different things. have some incentives for referrals and everything. I want to tell Kelly, thank you for so much for introducing me to Cindy. And the information that Kelly gave me last night was like, wow, I did not realize I could do this. But I see how fast it's going to grow my business before I even started. So I'm grateful, and I love everything that I'm seeing. And I love numbers. I love helping people. So the tax business is the one I chose.
Well, that's really cool. So I'm going to put you in the green room. And then if you hang tight for 1 minute while I close out, then we'll chat for a few. So do your
Okay.
shout outs for your Facebook page and any website that people can go to learn more about you today.
Okay. You can find me on Facebook. My name on Facebook is Maxie McDougall Williams. It may come up Maxie McDougall Eubanks, Eubanks. You can find me there. If you send me a message request, I'll get it. I'll make sure I reach out to you. You can find me on that. I think I got TikTok.
Oh,
Maxie Williams. Yes, I have TikTok. I have Instagram. Um, and on Instagram, my page is for Quan and Maxie, because me and my husband have a joint page. So I don't have any. I'm trying to get my website up now, but I don't mind coming back and making sure that I giving some more information and putting my information out there like that. But if they contact you, Cindy, you can feel free to give them my phone number to reach
definitely.
out to me, and they can text me and let me know that they got my number from you, and I'll help them out any way that I can.
Well, thank you so much. I'm going to put you in the green room. I'm going to close out and I'll see you in just 1 minute. Thank you, Maxie.
Okay, you're welcome.
Well, there we go. Another amazing entrepreneur on Ask Cindy Connector Live. Make sure that you think of 5 people every single day to show gratitude. And later on the show at 3 o'clock Pacific, I have my friend Patrick Snow. We're going to talk about what do you need to do to become an author. The red flags, there's a lot of publishers out there who aren't really doing their deal. So we really want to pay attention to those red flags. And of course, how to come up with the ultimate title for your book. This is Cindy over at Ask Cindy Connector Live. We'll see you later.